Hello everybody, this is week 4 tutorial 3 recording. For tutorial we have questions and we will go through them one by one. Question 1, total surplus. The diagram shows the supply and demand for DVD players and determine the equilibrium price and the quantity of DVD players. Based on this, use the green triangle to shade the area representing consumer surplus and at equilibrium price. Then use the purple triangle to shade the producer surplus. Okay, so we know that the blue line is consumer surplus, the orange line is the blue line is demand curve, orange line is the supply curve. The equilibrium will be quantity of supply equals quantity of demand, which is the intersection point here, which means equilibrium quantity is 120, equilibrium price is 100 here. So consumer surplus, we know consumer surplus is the area below the demand curve above the price that consumer pay. So this green triangle is the consumer surplus. Producer surplus is the area above supply curve below the price that producer received. So the total surplus is the sum of consumer surplus and the producer surplus. So we should calculate the area of this green triangle, which is the length of this side, which is 180 minus 100. So the length of this side is 80. The length of this side is 120. So it's 80. So it's the green triangle, this area green triangle is 80 multiplied by 120 divided by 2. That's the 4800. Similarly, for this blue and this purple triangle, is the length of this side multiplied by length of this side. So it's 80. This is 80 multiplied by 120 divided by 2. So it's 4800 as well. So altogether it's 96. $9.6 billion. So that's total surplus. Okay, question 1. Question 2. Effects of a tax on demand and supply. So imagine the calculator illustrates the market for wine in Australia. So this is the market for wines in Australia. The orange line represents the market supply of wine, and the blue line represents the demand. Use the calculator to help you answer the following questions. You will not be graded on any changes you make to the calculator. Okay. So the market is initially in equilibrium. So initially in equilibrium, that means the market will be this here. Initially it's here. Then, initially the equilibrium price is $50. Equilibrium quantity is 250. Then the government institutes a $10 per bottle tax to be paid by the sellers. Okay, so to put tax into the demand curve, into demand and supply diagrams, you can think that this tax drive the wedge between supply and demand by the tax rate. This is $10. So calculate. So now demand price is 50. Okay. Okay, so now let's put it in to see the impact of the tax. Enter the value of tax in the box labels tax on sellers. So here's $10 here. Click the button label calculate. So calculate, then move the green lines to the post tax equivalents. Okay, so now move this line to 54.44. So we see that consumer price is 54, producer price is 44. Okay, so that's tax wage. So before tax, we know that quantity of supply. Let's reset to the initial value. Before tax, quantity of supply is 250. Quantity after price before tax is 50. Price buyers paid, which is also the price sellers received. So that's 50 as well. So after tax, $10. Okay, then let's move this to this. Zero, tax seller. So now here's the tax wage, and we can see it from the calculator here that the consumer price is 50. Consumer price goes up 52. Producer price is 42, and the difference is $10. Equivalent quantity is something like 225. Using the data you entered in the preceding table, calculate the tax burden that falls on buyers and sellers respectively, and calculate the price elasticity of demand and supply using the midpoint methods. Enter your results in the following tables. So now we know that the tax rate is $10. Before tax, consumer pay 50. After tax, consumer pay 52. So the burden is $2 burden. Tax burden falls on consumer. So that's $2. That means $8 tax burden falls on producers. Elasticity. So price elasticity of demand. So that's percentage change of quantity over percentage change of over percentage change of price. So percentage change quantity is equal to after tax, so 225 minus the ending quantity minus beginning quantity is 250 divided by the midpoint between the ending quantity and beginning quantity. So it's equal to minus 25 divided by 235, 237.5. You can ignore the negative sign because we know it is negative. So percentage change of quantity is 0.1053. Percentage of consumer price is multiplied by the midpoint ending at beginning. The 2 divided by 0. So which is equal to 0.0392. So then the elasticity is the ratio of these two percentage change. So it's 0.1053 divided by 0.0392. So which is 2.68, 2.69. Similarly, you can calculate the price elasticity of supply. The burden of the tax falls more heavily on the less elastic side, which is intuitive. This is your answer. So it's 0.269 for supply at buyer, 0.61 for producers, which is less than 1 if in elastics. So producers share a higher burden of the tax. Okay, question 3. Minimum wage legislation. The following graph depicts the market for labor. So downward sloping, blue line is demand, upward sloping, orange is the supply. Use the calculator to help you answer the following questions. So in this market, the equilibrium wage rate is the intersection point, supply equals demand. So it's $6. Quantity is 200. Imagine the Australian House of Representatives introduces a bill to legislate a minimum hourly wages of $8. This type of price control is called a price floor because that's a minimum wage. So it cannot be less than $8. The wage rate cannot be less than $8 per hour. At a wage of $8 per hour, the quantity of labor firms will demand is go from this $8 to the demand function, to the demand line, demand curve. Then you read out the quantity of demand, so which is 100 workers. While the quantity of labor workers will supply is go from the wage rate to the supply curve. You read out the quantity of supply, which is 400,000 workers. Therefore, there will be there are more workers, there are more laborers available, so there will be surplus of the difference 300,000 workers in the market. In the absence of any price control, this will, if there's no price control, if there's no price flow, that will put downward pressure, because now there are more people in the market who want to find a job but couldn't find a job. So this will exert downward pressure on wages until the labor market achieves equilibrium. So this, which means put downward pressure on the wage rate, so wage rate drops. Eventually, it reaches the equilibrium point. Okay. However, with a price control in place, the labor market might or might not be able to reach its equilibrium. Economists call a minimum wage that prevents the labor market from reaching equilibrium a binding minimum wage. So this is indeed affecting the market outcome. In this particular case, the minimum wage rate of $8 per hour will prevent the market from reaching its equilibrium, because $8 is higher than $6. Two government representatives introduced competing bills that would set the minimum wage at $4 or $9 per hour. Which of these equilibrium wages would be binding? So if it is $4 minimum wage, then the equilibrium wages is $6. Is already higher than the minimum wage, so the minimum wage is not binding. Oh, okay. Here, the $4 minimum wage is not binding, and $9 minimum wage is binding because it's higher than the equilibrium without the price control. Okay, that's all for tutorial 3.